Meeting you all. All right. So today I wanted to talk about something fun, do something fun. Um, Ultimately, it will be fun if it's not fun right now. And just talk about the difference between longing and desire, longing and desire. And then kind of, we'll circle back around to some of the other stuff again, but I feel this is the message that came to me today, and so this is the one I'm giving because that's how it rolls. So um, as we're moving through our life, we uh, end up oftentimes having longing for something different, a longing for you know the best job or true love or something like that. So, longing inside of the human, um, it indicates the consciousness of a barrier. Um, it's longing is different than desire. So, longing, um, there's a barrier in the consciousness. Uh, Longing in the dictionary is kind of defined as a strong desire for something that is unattainable to us. Unattainable. So oftentimes we have longings for things in life and changes in life, but we ultimately believe it's unattainable or not possible for us. Desire, on the other hand, is there's a slight difference, but it's an enormous one. And it means to exhibit or feel desire for, express a wish or a request, and to ask for. And it's a conscious impulse towards something that promises satisfaction or enjoyment in its attainment. So longing is longing for something, but feeling like that's way out of our a reach, even a little bit. We might long and think it's desire. Desire, on the other hand, is I got it, like I know that's attainable and I want it, and I'm going to either ask for it or figure out how to get the fulfillment of it. So when we're when we're looking at our life and we're looking at our evolution and we're figuring out, who am I and what am I, and uh, how how can I move on this earth to my fullest potential and enjoy and happiness, then we start to learn the difference between longing for it and then desire, which we can attain. So a lot of people long for things to be different, but there isn't any energy within them that is moving in that direction. There's a wanting, so to speak, or a longing for it, but there isn't a belief or a feeling about it that generates energy that can create a magnetic pull impulse to bring it into our life or begin to move us on the path of that journey. People long for something different, but we've all been there or know people, but there is a lot of words, but there isn't movement. There it's a lot of talk and not a lot of action. And then there's people who really desire and they're moving. They're moving. They're somehow, if it's a slow moving river or a fast moving river, they're moving in the direction. They've created some energy within them. So longing is a it's a wanting, but a not knowing that it can be had by you. We want it, but don't think it's possible for a multitude of reasons, probably programmed into us throughout our life. And longing. Longing is like a it's like a match. It's like this little match right here. It's like there. The pieces are there, but there's nothing. It's a match. Like we pick our teeth with it, whatever it is we do with it. Um, when we realize that we can have it, then that's that's the spark that strikes, and then now we have desire. But sometimes immediately doubt comes along and it snuffs it out. So we move away from it, or we step back in and we try again. And we got a hold of it again. And we run and tell people. I never do this. Don't ever do this. But run and tell people about your desire and they don't believe it. It's not their desire. It's gone again. Just a little smoke, maybe some ember. But then a time comes when we've been with it long enough that we have enough energy within ourselves to maintain and sustain a flame. A flame. So our desire begins to have a life of its own. Here, I have to put it up where you can see it. Oop, you can kind of see it. There. It has a life of its own. It becomes, the longing meets the revelation and it sparks the possibility, the idea of possibility, and then it becomes a burning flame. And, the the flame, it's a living, moving, consuming energy. You can see it moving. It's affected by what I am doing, how I am moving, and it's alive. It sheds light. It illumines our path, and we begin to take care of the flame, and we begin to feed it. So it's a living, moving, consuming energy. It is a light. It illumines our darkness, and it comes to life in our consciousness. It comes to life within our being. This spark is now part of who we are. It is now part of our living energy force. It's part of who we are. So once we figure out how to keep it burning and we begin to realize it is something attainable, right? It is something attainable. And we can maintain this flame, then we begin to move in our life to support that. So, and that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight is how do we go from getting the revelation about something to moving towards the fulfillment of it in our human life. Because it's really great to get all kinds of stuff inside, in our revelation, in our heart, in our head, and it does generate change in our life, right? But once we begin to clear the history out of the way, and we begin to be more and more in the present now, and more engaged in the energy of now, then we begin to become participating, active creators in the life that we're living. We begin to own our life as our own life. It is our own life, and it is our life to build and our life to create. No matter where we're at in it. Like, it doesn't matter where we are, how old we are, what we've done up to now. We can come face to face with our soul and say, my soul would be so much happier doing this, expression. Like, I really would love to have this expression in my life. And then we begin to move into that with an expectancy that it's going to produce some fruit for us. It's going to bring us the joy that we think it will. Because we're so used to living, like looking at the picture that's been given to us and looking at the boundaries and the guidelines and the stories that everybody else is living. And we forget, or we forget at a really young age, that we are unique, powerful creation beings. And we are to move in our life in our creative force and create what brings us joy, no matter how big or small. Like it, we need to be having joy and happiness and to know love in our life. Like we need all of that. We need to feel fulfilled. We need to have so much love in us that it is our radiating energy going out. And we get in touch with that by doing things that bring us joy, right? We get in touch with that energy within ourselves and we begin radiating joy. And it makes us happy. And we share the happiness, right? So we have to figure out, what is it that's going to bring joy and happiness to me? And it doesn't have to be like a bring in the digger and trench the life and start over. It's a shift in thought, maybe what we're doing, being open to this desire that's been knocking on your heart forever, right? Being open to the concept of it without canceling it out, right? Without canceling it out right away. So, um, as part of our process of becoming revealed to ourselves as our divine beings, and becoming into more and more knowing of who and what we are and the creative force that we are, then we can begin to look into the space around us, this enormous life that we have, and begin to say, how can I move from longing into desire, into reality in my life? And that's been my journey over the past year. And prior to the past year, like prior to everything happening this year, I was so longing for the direction I'm moving in now, but didn't know. And then I moved into desire, right? And then things moved around for me, moving me closer, right? Closer. So, um, but it doesn't have to be this big. It can be small. It can be, I want to shift to what I'm doing all day long. I want to do more of what I know brings me joy all day long and less of what doesn't. I want to learn more about energy, spiritual things. I want to learn more about it, right? Because it's real. It's real. And every thought creates, every thought creates. Like, I promise you. And given enough time, we see it in our energy field. We see it in our life, in the lives of others, the lives of others. So, so I wanted to kind of do, this isn't a super huge long lesson like the last ones have been kind of long. This one's a little more short, but I think it's important to, I'm just going to jump right in. So, uh, everybody close your eyes. And you're just going to be with your eyes closed. No sleeping. No sleeping. So, with your eyes closed, take a couple breaths. We'll just kind of make this sort of our meditation too. So, take a couple breaths and really get centered into your quietness. Breathe a little deeper than you normally would. Exhale out a little more. And allow your body to become still, your inner body, your inner self. Connect with that inner aspect of you. And be still. So now, imagine you're standing in a big room, you're standing on a platform, and you're facing a big curtain. And the curtain opens, and it's an enormous white canvas, enormous, blank canvas, or a huge empty field, whatever you can connect with. And next to this enormous canvas is a tiny little easel with a small notepad. And take it all in. This big canvas, tiny little notepad off to the side. And on this canvas, you can draw anything you want. All the paint, the chalk, the crayons, anything that you need is right here for you in an instant. You can draw anything you want. If you're looking at the empty field, you can build anything you want in this field. You can draw anything on this canvas. So while you're looking at it, and it's your job to draw, to create on this canvas, let the ideas come. The one caveat with the whole thing is that whatever you create, whatever you draw, whatever you build, is going to come to pass in your life. It's a snapshot of you. There are no boundaries. There are no limits. There are no rules. There is no judgment. It's a blank canvas and an empty field. What would you draw? What would you build as you look at it? Take it all in. Let the ideas come. Pick up your paintbrush, your chalk, your crayon. Look at all the colors. Make a choice. And as you approach the canvas, listen to the voices. If you say, I will start with this, listen and see if you hear another voice saying, no, that's dumb, or that's not possible, or that's too hard, or you don't have the means for that. Go and write those comments on the small notepad. The big canvas is for your ideas and dreams. The small notepad is for all the commentary. Hey Google, turn off. Pay attention to what it feels like inside as you look at this canvas that has no limits, no boundaries. All the colors you want. Start to draw. Start to paint. Start to sketch it out. Listen to the conversation inside. Anything negative, anything that is not supporting you, write on the small notepad and go back to your canvas. Maybe pick a different color. It's a snapshot of your life. What brings you joy? What makes you feel happy? It's a snapshot of what makes you feel love. If you are building in the field and not drawing on paper, you can build anything you want. All the equipment you need is here for you. If the field is too small, you can push the boundaries out. If you run out of room, what brings you joy? It's a burning flame. What do you desire? You're creating a portrait of you. Maybe step back, take a look, maybe make a change. I don't know. It's a blank canvas. It's yours. If you can't move past staring at it, make a note of that and come back again. Now step back from your canvas, from your field. What does it feel like? Observe. You can come back here every day. Add something to the picture. Live with it. Feel it. Feel the details of it. Add something. Let it be complete within you, day by day. So open your eyes. Remember where you left off so you can go back. Open your eyes. Unmute yourselves, please. Was that easy or challenging?
Challenging.
That was easy.
So many things to paint.
Claire?
That was easy for me because I do it every morning. And it's such a beautiful experience because I'm a creative person, but it's where I really splash in my creativity. And when I first started doing it in the beginning, I had that film that Audrey was talking about that would judge the ideas, would say, you can't do that, that's silly. And after watching, because I wasn't able to be with everyone, watching the heart in the film, it made more sense to be able to not judge and to just play. And it's like playtime for me, and it's incredible. And those things start coming to fruition. It's just like, oh, that happened. Oh, that's there. Oh, that's a sign.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
keep practicing and doing it, because otherwise the playtime and the creativity stops for me.
Yeah. And we're doing it anyway. I mean, every day we are approaching the canvas of our life. We're getting the picture that we're in right now. We're the ones painting it.
Erg.
But it's fun to to step back and say, if I had a field, an empty field, what would I build in it? If I didn't have to think about anything, what would I build in it? We learn something about ourselves, what we think is possible, or the fact that we have um, no picture for ourselves beyond our current moment. But if somebody walked up and goes, here's an empty field and anything you need, just build something, fill it up. It's our life.
Sounds like heck of fun.
Yeah. It's our life.
But then you're like, oh my gosh, Too many decisions.
Oh. One at a time.
Yeah.
One at a time. And, you think you get confounded, write it on the small tablet.
Exactly.
Park it. And then pretty soon you'll see a thread in those conversations too that can get a handle on and make a change. Make a change. Because, we're living every moment of our lives anyway. We can live it to our potential and use it to really create joy on this earth for ourselves and others. Or we can, sit in the back row and hope that it comes. We have to realize the creative power we have been given. And we have to begin to get a hold of it and try. Try in small things and then begin to gain confidence. It's our lives. It's our lives. I mean, sending healing, loving energy to another person, that's painting on the canvas, people. Right? That's why it's so important what we radiate every day. People could walk through our energy and receive a lift or a healing, right? I mean, it's like that water study. I know I talked about it at the classes when we were actually meeting in the studio. They had students go and take a dropper of water and go and put it on a slide, and they lined them all up. And each drop of water presented with the energy of the person whose field it passed through on the way to the slide. We change the properties of energy around us with our energy. If we are moving in love and joy and happiness in our life first, people pass through our energy and receive the benefit of that. And then we join together and can send our energy in a direction. But first, we must become for ourselves what we desire for ourselves and for others. We can't give love if we don't become it. So, painting on the canvas of our life, digging in a little deeper, moving past the confounded thinking mind into the reality of who and what we are is what changes us and the people around us and the world that we live in. That is all that's going to change it. If you just work on the external stuff, the internal, the undercurrent's still the same. Still the same. It's like the lipstick on the pig thing people always say. It's still a pig. Still a pig. So finding different ways, the exercise is finding a different way to observe yourself and how you move in your day-to-day life so that we continue to evolve. Continue to evolve. Continue to peel back the layers to expose the light. We're pulling back the curtain on the window of us to radiate the light of divinity into the field and space around us. That is the purpose of our being here. That's the reaching our highest and best is more room, more room, more room for divine love and presence. And all of the joys of life are going to find us there as we're finding them. And people around us will reap the benefit of that. So that's my message today.
Thank you.
Short and
Love it.
short.
It's an awesome message.
It's a message.
Yes.
It's an awesome message.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the more you say it, and in the different ways that you say it, it's easier to understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We keep chewing on it. Pretty soon we'll break it down to something we can swallow.
or there's a metaphor that it finally clicks and you get it, right?
Yeah, totally. Hey, that's why I wanted you to keep the creation journal. Think about, your thoughts, good and bad, are fulfilled. Right?
Is the Bills winning on Sunday on the canvas? On everyone's canvas? It's a selfish request.
Everyone painted in a corner.
That's cheating. We'll beat them fair and square.
I don't know.
There's a lot of other people painting the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it is fun though. Like, I'm so glad they're doing well. So get from longing to desire, and desire to a flame to manifestation, fulfillment. And we're all here for each other. If you need something, let me know.
Yes.
If you want me to share, people don't need to know anything except to send love for the highest and best to someone. We don't need to know anything. Don't let that inhibit you. Just, can you get the group to send some power over here? Hold the space, sacred space open for somebody, right? We don't need to know. So don't let that hold you back, because we're all here for each other. Or family. Okay. So if you think about it, send love for the highest and best for Emily.
Yes.
Thank you all.
And anyone else who needs it, that's why we're here. That's why we're evolving and growing, so we can release our energy for the good of everybody. So have a fabulous week, everyone. Any questions? I'm here. Love you all.
Thank you, Audrey.
Love you too.
Thank you.
We'll talk.
Bye,
to you.
everyone.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Love you, sis.
Oh,
Love you all.
Naja.
Take care.
Hi, I didn't know you were on here. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
He hides.
Well, I left my tractor idling in the field, so I must get back to it.
Okay.
Bye.
What a wonderful life, Yelena.
It is.
It is.
Good night.
Take
everyone.
care.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.